or on your computer. I have put everybody on mute right now, just because we have so many attendees. That'll help keep the format of the meeting clean. So if you do have any comments or questions throughout the presentation, you feel free to submit those through the chat box in the GoToMeeting, or you can also email us. The email address is info@I-84westhartford.com, and you can submit questions to that email also. As I said, we'll just wait a few more minutes for everybody to join the meeting, and then we'll go ahead and get started. Thank you. Good evening, everybody. It's 6:05. I think most people have joined us now. We may get a few late stragglers, but I just want to welcome everyone to our virtual open house. This is a virtual open house for a Department of Transportation project in the town of West Hartford. The project number is 155-171, and this is safety and operational improvements on I-84. Just a quick note to everyone, as I mentioned already, everyone is on mute right now in GoToMeeting. That's just to allow us clear audio throughout the presentation. Otherwise, things get a little too unwieldy. If you do have any comments or questions, please feel free to submit those in the chat window in your GoToMeeting controls. And we will read those comments and questions and respond to them at the end of the presentation. You can also email us. Our email is info@I-84westhartford.com. And if you email us, we will try and get to those questions during the presentation or respond to them as soon as possible afterwards. Okay, myself, I'll go ahead and introduce. My name is Joshua Gray. I'm the Director of Construction Services for Urban Engineers in New England. The Department of Transportation has hired urban engineers to do the construction engineering and inspection for this project. My team will also be performing the public relations role for the department on this project. So if you email us, we will get to your concerns or questions as soon as we can. So down at the bottom of the screen here, you can see that is our email address. I have 2 people monitoring that email address right now, so feel free to submit your questions there, or you can type it into the chat window. I see someone's already started using that, so thank you for that. We also do have Spanish language speakers on our public relations team, so if anybody prefers writing questions in Spanish, feel free to submit those and we can respond to them that way. So I just want to introduce our website. This website went live just a couple days ago. I know some of you have already seen it, but the address is there at the top of the screen, www.I-84westhartford.com. We do have a lot of nice features on the website. There is a large yellow button that you can see there. You can register to receive updates on the project. We also have a very convenient feature. If you want to sign up for our newsletter and updates, you can just text I-84 info to the number 22828. I'll also have that contact information at the end of the presentation for everybody. So the website is definitely the best place for people to go about for information on the project. We have a lot of information already up there, and we will continue to add information as the project progresses. And we will be posting updates on a weekly or a bi-weekly basis regarding lane closures on I-84 and any detours that are happening at the highway ramps. So one of the other features on the website is an interactive traffic map. On the traffic and lane closures tab, you can link to that map. It's also a sub-tab in the header of our webpage. And if you click on that map, it'll show you live traffic updates for this section of I-84 in West Hartford. You can also click on the little blue dots there and view live traffic cameras, which get refreshed about every minute. And you can see live traffic. It's kind of like Google Maps. So if there is slow traffic in the area, those routes will turn yellow or red as necessary. This is part of the department's Smart Work Zone system that was put up for this project. The Smart Work Zone system consists of orange trailers on the side of the highway and some of the local roads that are equipped with speed sensors to monitor traffic on a live basis. We also have several cameras up in the area so the department can monitor traffic flows. And then several of the devices also have electronic message boards to inform the traveling public of potential delays through the work zone. And what you'll see if you drive by these is it'll give you an approximate time from your direction of travel to get to the other side of the work zone through our 2-mile work zone. So just a quick overview of the project. The construction cost for this project is approximately $54 million. The construction schedule is March 2020 through May of 2023. So it's approximately 3-year project. The owner of this project is the Connecticut Department of Transportation. The contractor that was selected for this project is O&G Industries, and the construction inspection team consists of Urban Engineers. The designer, I'll also mention, that was selected to perform the design was BL Companies, and they are working with us during the construction project. So just a note on the location of the project. On this map, I've circled the approximate limits of the project. You can see on the left side of this map there is the interchange with Route 9 here. This is the western limits of the project, is at the Route 9 exit and on-ramp. Then the eastern terminus of the project is where Park Road has an on-ramp to I-84 Westbound. So that's the approximate limits of the project. It is 2 miles of Interstate 84 between the exit numbers 39A on the west and exit 43 on the east. This down in the bottom here, you guys can see this is West Farms Mall. Across the street is Corbin's Corner. So everybody kind of knows this area well by referencing the mall. Also over here is Wolcott Park for the town of West Hartford. And Ridgewood Road with the interchange and the highways right here. And sort of in the middle of our project is also South Main Street. So that's just kind of giving everybody an idea of the limits of the project. Now I want to just talk a little bit about the scope of the project and what work is going to be performed. The main purpose of this project is to improve traffic operations and safety throughout the I-84 corridor. We are adding an additional travel lane in the eastbound direction from the Park Ave on-ramp all the way to the Route 9 interchange. We are also adding a travel lane in the westbound direction between the on-ramp off of New Britain Avenue and the exit at South Main Street. These additional lanes are what we call auxiliary lanes. They're for the cars to be able to enter and exit the highway. So the lane would be an additional lane in between the on-ramps and exit ramps. One of the reasons why we have a lot of congestion on I-84 in this area is due to people entering and exiting the highway and having to shift over a lane when they enter, and people exiting often causes a conflict. So adding that additional lane will just ease some of the congestion from those merge and diverge moves. There will be some major bridge operations for this project. One of the ones I want to highlight is here at Berkshire Road. There are 2 bridges there, one for the eastbound and one for the westbound direction. Those bridges will both be fully replaced during the project, and they will be done in stages. So there will always be 3 lanes of I-84 traveling in both directions. So we'll be building those bridges pieces at a time. The other major bridge is at Ridgewood Road. The Ridgewood Road bridge for I-84 Westbound, which travels over Ridgewood Road. That bridge is going to be replaced also. We are leaving the foundations for that bridge, but the bridge, the entire bridge deck will be rebuilt new, and the bridge will be slightly widened to accommodate the additional lane on I-84 Westbound. There's also noise barrier walls in this project. There are noise barrier walls existing along the highway today. Many of them are fairly aged, so those will be removed as part of this project and replaced with brand new noise barrier walls. Just some of the major operations for the project. I've already mentioned several. We will have a new pavement overlay in addition to the widened lane. We will overlay the entire project with new pavement. There's some discussion there about the replacement of the Berkshire Road bridges and the superstructure or bridge deck replacement for the Ridgewood Road Bridge. There's also work on the incident management system. This system is used by the Department of Transportation to communicate with the traveling public. You will notice on the highway we have overhead signs with messaging on them. those signs are part of the incident management system to alert drivers of traffic ahead or accidents or lane closures. So we will be replacing some of those structures. We will also be installing some additional speed sensors and cameras within the project limits to help out with that system. There's also drainage improvements involved with this project. Some drainage piping and structures are being replaced. There's some grass swales, and in general, it's just kind of upgrading the drainage in the area. There's a few additional drainage features to help out with some areas that had poor drainage in the past. And then there's multiple safety improvements. Mostly this is to bring I-84 up to current standards. There's some additional guide rail along the sides of the highway and in the median. There's new signage and new illumination, lights along the highway ramps and things like that. This is all kind of based on current DOT standards. There will also be some minor bridge repair work done on some of the bridges in this area. While we're out there, we will be repairing some of those bridges and bringing them into a state of good repair and replacing some of the concrete parapets to conform to current design standards. Just a quick word on the stages of construction. As I mentioned before, there will be 3 through lanes in each direction of I-84 during the construction process in any time when there is heavy traffic. So on a daily basis, there will be 3 lanes open in each direction. There will be some nighttime closures that will reduce that number of lanes, but during the heavy commute hours, there will always be 3 lanes open. We accomplish that by moving traffic inside or outside on the highway. You can see the top picture there is with traffic all shifted to the outsides of the highway. And then the contractor will be allowed to work in this middle area. There are concrete barricades here that will separate the work area from the traveling public for safety. And then in other stages, we'll shift all the traffic to the inside or the median of the highway, and the contractor will be able to work in the outside areas. And that's how we're able to replace these bridges while still maintaining 3 lanes at all times. During 2 of our stages, we will also have a ramp closure, and I'll talk about that a little bit more in a minute. And there will be, at the end of the project, a final pavement that gets installed so the whole project from end to end has a nice finished surface. So here's a graphic for the detour. This is one of the major closures on the project. This is probably the thing that most of the public will see as far as impacts from the project. The closure is the I-84 Westbound on-ramp at Ridgewood Road. You can see up in the right-hand corner, that's the red area. It's the loop ramp if you're going north on Ridgewood Road to I-84 Westbound. The department did work with a lot of the businesses in the area, some of the residents and the town of West Hartford about this closure. It was determined that the best time to perform that would not be for the entire year, but to only do it during the summer construction seasons. So the closures will happen from May to October this year, and from April to October 2 years from now in 2022. That period allows us to reopen the highway ramp prior to the holiday season when this area of town is very busy. So the end of October, November, and December, this ramp will be reopened. Just the directions for the detour are to go down Ridgewood Road to New Britain Avenue, take a right on New Britain Avenue, travel down Route 71 past West Farms Mall towards Route 9, take a right on to the Route 9 North on-ramp, travel up Route 9, get in the left lane, and get onto I-84 Westbound, which is a left exit off of Route 9. That's exit number 32. During the detour, we will have detour signs up. There will be orange construction signs indicating the path that the motorist should take. There will also be electronic message boards to notify everybody in advance of the closure and to just assist the traveling public with information. You will see those signs out there. The path is very well signed, and many of those are not displayed yet because we haven't implemented the detour, but that will be coming soon. The projection right now for the detour is during the second week of May, and we will be providing more information on that when the exact date is known. We'll be providing a press release through the department's website. We'll be updating our project website, and we'll also be emailing everybody that's registered on our website with an update. So that's it for the presentation portion of the open house. I just want to give you guys a little bit of information. If you do have questions, please submit those through the chat window, or you can email info@I-84westhartford.com. You can also at any time now or in the future go to the Contact Us page on I-84westhartford.com, and you can submit comments or questions. Those will go to the same email address, and our public relations team will respond to those as soon as we can. You can also follow us by registering on the website to get our newsletter updates via email. As I mentioned, you can also text I-84 info to 22828. We also have a Twitter account and a Facebook page. You can find us at I-84 West Hartford. And I just want to get to a couple of the questions. Please just, I ask for your patience as I try and monitor the chat window and also receive some of these by email. So I got a question from James Moyer with NBC about who you can contact on a daily basis regarding issues with noise, vibration, etc. I would just ask that you use our email that I've provided. We do have that inbox monitored all the time. Like I mentioned, I do have 2 public relations staff that are going to be monitoring that inbox, and you will be responded to in a timely manner. We do have a field office out there. It is a construction site though, so I ask the public not to approach the field office without prior authorization. Get some other questions here. I have a question from Kate who asks, what is being done to mitigate noise for residents without current barrier walls? This question has come up a lot from residents in West Hartford. We did address this, the department did during a public meeting during the design phase. And my answer would be what the design team has told me is that during the environmental review phase of this project, the department conducted a noise study. During that noise study, they take noise measurements in private property along the corridor. They also take noise readings on the highway, and they go through a process of conducting a noise report, which is based on federal guidelines. And those federal guidelines provide certain thresholds that if the noise exceeds that threshold and is a feasible and reasonable mitigation to install some sort of mitigating measure, then they would consider that and proceed with it in the project. So Those determinations were made during the design phase, and at this point, we are proceeding with the recommendations that were made at that time. So the noise barrier walls are determined at this point, and that lovely piece. I apologize to everybody. This has been an occurrence. If anybody in the business world is performing meetings, this is pretty common occurrence that these meetings get hacked into. The links that we provided were public, so sorry about that. Moving on. I do have a question on how the project is being funded, state or federal funding. This project is a fully state-funded project. It is not federally funded. So the state of Connecticut is funding the entire project. Okay, I do have a couple other questions that were submitted previously, and I'll just go through those. Someone had asked, how long is the project going to take? It is about approximately 3 years from this spring through the spring of 2023. What is the main purpose of the project? The main purpose of the project is to improve the safety of the traveling public, to improve local and regional commerce and freight mobility. This speaks a lot to concerns we've heard multiple times. Someone had asked, what will be done to reduce the impact of construction on residents and businesses in West Hartford? And during construction, the DOT will be ensuring that residents are informed of construction schedules and potential impacts. All of the updates and press releases will be posted on our project website for public information and awareness. And any announcements regarding open houses like this will be also posted on that website and shared via our email distribution list. Construction activities on I-84 will be performed during periods of lighter traffic volume. 3 lanes will be maintained in each direction during all heavy traffic periods. And that'll just help us to lessen the impact on the traveling public. And the closure of the I-84 Westbound on-ramp at Ridgewood Road will take place during the summer construction season and will be reopened to traffic before the fall-winter holiday season. Someone had asked if they can leave a question or a comment in Spanish. You can do that by sending us an email. We do have Spanish speakers on our public relations team. You can also submit a comment or a question in Spanish through our Contact Us tab on the website. Someone had asked when the noise barrier walls will be constructed during the project. We anticipate that the noise barrier walls will be constructed during the second stage when the traffic is shifted to the inside of the highway, allowing the contractor to work on the outside of the highway. At that point, they will be removing and replacing noise barrier walls along the highway. I'll just note that for those residents that do live along the highway, there will be some tree clearing operations directly adjacent to those noise walls. We will not be removing anything more than is necessary for the construction. All of the tree clearing is well within the Department of Transportation's right of way. But if anybody does note that, we're doing our best to minimize the impacts. We had another question on how many detours and stages are we expecting to have. We expect that there's going to be 3 main stages to the project, with the 2 major detours in 2020 and 2022. 2 of our stages do have sub-stages. We know them as 1A, 1B, 2A, and 2B, but those are just ways of identifying small shifts in the traffic patterns. And someone else had asked, will night construction be taking place? And in order to reduce the impact to the traveling public during the day, certain of our activities will need to take place at night. All the construction information and lane closures, including night work, will be posted on our website and will be sent out through our email updates. We're always sensitive to nighttime noise issues, but please understand that a lot of the activities have to take place at night because we can't be closing those lanes during the daytime. And the last question that I had submitted, and then I'll go in and check some emails here. Someone had asked, will the existing speed limits remain? And the answer to that is that during construction, there will be reduced speed limits in force through the construction work zone, which is a very typical practice. It helps keep the construction workers and the DOT workers safe. After construction, the speed limits will remain the same as they were before the project. Just bear with me a minute. I'm reading a couple of questions here that were submitted by email. Saw another question come in the chat box. Stephen had asked, will the DOT be taking any land through eminent domain? And the answer is there is no property acquisition as part of this project. All of the work will be conducted within the existing property that the DOT has. Okay, I made it through our questions. I'm just reading one more that just came in. It's a little more on the technical side regarding an exact location of some work being done. If you submitted that question, I'll get back to you. I'm going to have to look a little more closely at the plans for the project in order to answer that. I'll just say that if there are follow-up questions, please use the resources that are up on the page now. We will try and answer them to the best of our ability. If there are things that are kind of beyond our purview, we work closely every day with the department and can get you the answers that you need. There is information on our webpage that we didn't review today, so please go to the webpage and review it. There's a lot of answers and a lot of good information there that you can take out. Okay, well, I'm going to wait a couple more minutes if anybody has any questions to submit, but that's about it for now. So if you're finished, you can go ahead and log off. or hang up. I want to thank everybody for coming tonight. Please continue to reach out to us if you have any concerns. And we do have a link on the town of West Hartford's page that you can get to our website also if you're trying to find it. So thank you everybody for coming. I'll hang online for a couple of minutes. If there are any more questions that come in, I'll give it another 5 minutes. Okay, for everybody that's still on the line, I haven't received any more questions, so I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Thanks again, everybody, for coming, and we're going to do our best to have a successful project. Thank you.